What I feel when somebody says I'm not clever enough to work on my feelings is
So you're saying that you're not a trained giraffe yet?
Yes, or saying I don't believe enough in myself to be able to learn something new or whatever. It's like this wolf inside yourself telling yourself you're the stupid one.
Ah, so I'm glad you bring that out, because we haven't talked yet about how to speak giraffe with our inner jackal. And in fact, they're probably the most severe jackals we will ever have to deal with. First of all, they're so much faster than these other jackals. See, these inner jackals, they speak with the speed of light. And they have been in there so long that oftentimes we're not even aware that we are jackaling ourselves. That's why giraffes love to have certain feelings. Giraffes love to have feelings like depression and guilt. Now, why does a giraffe like to have those feelings? Because those feelings tell us jackals have infested our thinking, that we are jackaling ourselves. We are telling ourselves that there's something wrong with us. And whenever we're doing that, as a giraffe, we want to tame those inner jackals. Now, how do we tame an inner jackal? The same way that we tame an external jackal. So what have we been doing tonight? We have been seeing that no matter what message comes at you from another person, no matter how jackalish it sounds, it's simply an expression of feeling and unmet needs. So we put giraffe ears on, and we hear the feeling and the unmet needs. We do the same thing with our internal jackal. Once we have identified them, we see what we're telling ourselves, we learn to translate that internal judgment into what are the feelings and needs that are being expressed through this self-judgment. And then you know what we find? The same thing we find with external jackals, that there are no jackals. Jackals are simply giraffes with a language problem, as I said earlier this evening. Likewise, these internal messages that keep eating out our soul and our morale, if we really hear the life energy being expressed behind that message, we find out that it's a very loving message. We don't feel bad about ourselves at all. Let me show you how that works. I was doing some work in a workshop like this one evening on a relationship with a woman and her husband, and another woman who was watching, she just went like this. And I could tell from the look on her face she was having a serious case of internal jackal. And I said to her, what, could you mind sharing what's going on in you? Oh, she says, I see now why I had the divorce that I did. I have been blaming the husband, but now I see it was really my fault. Well, see, now we know that she is beset with jackals because she has that word fault in her consciousness. You see. When we think in a jackal way, there always has to be fault, blame. So I said, I'd really like to show you how to translate your inner jackal into giraffe. She says, I'd like to too. I just feel terrible feeling so bad about either angry at him or guilty about my role in it. So, when you say it was all your fault, you should have known better how to communicate. What is the feeling and need behind that? Well, I should have behaved differently. No, that's a should. That's still an internal jackal. What is that jackal, that internal jackal, saying when it says you should have behaved differently? Well, I'm sad, yeah. Because I should have. Nope, stop. Not should have. What would you have liked? I really would have liked to have known then what I'm learning today. And how do you feel when you say that? Different. Yeah, because now you're in touch with the life energy behind your message. You're really hearing what you feel and need. You're sad. You would have liked to have known this then. But notice how different that is than thinking there's something wrong with you, that you should have known better. Notice that when we're in touch with our feelings and needs, that motivates us to do something about the need. But when all that goes on in our head is should have, and what's wrong with you, that doesn't help us learn from the situation. That doesn't mobilize us to change. We just can keep beating ourselves up for years until we tame those inner jackals, which always means to get connected to the life energy behind them.